Captain America throws his mighty shield. All those who chose to oppose his shield must yield. If it's led to a fight and a duel is due, then the red and the white and the blue come through when Captain America throws his mighty shield. That could have gone better. Hi guys, I'm Felix Jones and Lego Cheetah, and I'm going to talk to you today about the Captain America 2 movie, The Winter Soldier. And let me just say first off that this movie is really enjoyable. This is going to be a spoiler-free review because I don't think there's any real need for me to talk about spoilers too much in this. How should I kick this off? I only recently watched the first Captain America movie, and then immediately afterwards I watched the Avengers for the second time since it came out. So I haven't, the first time since it came out, so I was refreshed and I didn't have a great memory of it. And I was once again shocked how good it was. And when I went to see this movie, Captain America 2, I really got the exact same feeling that I did when I went to see that first movie. There was, let me say first of all that Captain America, my opinion of him is so much higher after this first movie. After the second movie, in the first one I found him a relatively likeable character, but he was a bit too noble, a bit too perfect, a bit too never does anything wrong, nothing. He didn't seem human at all, and that was definitely very much improved in this movie. There was this line near the beginning of the film. This isn't a spoiler. Captain America is pretty much the first time you see him, and he's talking to somebody else, and they say to him, "Oh, how are you finding the 21st century?" And he says, "Oh, it's great. You know, internet, very helpful." And it just suddenly dawned on me. It's like, oh, I never really thought about that. I mean, Captain America living normally in this present time, having to adjust to things like the existence of the internet. He suddenly became a lot more human to me. But I wouldn't say he was an empathisable character. But I wouldn't say that many of the Avengers are empathisable characters. This movie was very, very visually pleasing, very nice to look at, very nice and colourful, and well, generally nice and colourful. I guess the scenes that take place in the S.H.I.E.L.D. building is very silver and grey. But the action is really entertaining, very enjoyable, and there's enough of it to keep you going. Well, it kind of made me come to a certain revelation about the Marvel movies and where they should actually be going instead of what they're frequently attempting to do. Because a lot of these movies are trying very hard to make us empathise a lot with the main characters. I'm actually going to say that Captain America is now my third favourite Avenger after seeing this movie. I know, still less than Thor, and Hulk is number 1, Thor's number 2, even though the second movie wasn't very good, and Captain America is third, and Robert Downey Jr. is way down there at the last. I know, controversial, I don't like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I think that he makes crap jokes at the other characters' weaknesses, like that. If you go back and watch the Avengers, he makes like a joke about Samuel L. Jackson having one eye, and I was like, wow, that's really nice, making fun of a disabled person. But so I'm getting off of track of the movie that we're supposed to be talking about. With this movie, instead of trying so hard to make the characters empathisable, even though we do get some nice little near empathisable moments, I don't think I have ever really strongly empathised with Captain America or Thor, or I guess I empathised with the Hulk deal in the Avengers, but that's just because he was such a well done character. When is Mark Ruffalo going to make a Hulk movie? Honestly. But I think that it's very important. I think the writers in this movie, and in the first Captain America movie, and definitely in the Avengers, realised that it is not about making us empathise with the characters, but instead about making the characters as likeable as possible. We don't want them to be sympathetic. I don't want to put myself in the body of the superhero, even though I mean, after watching Captain America 2, I came home and I played the video game for the first time for a little bit, which I'm hoping to do like a Let's Play on or something in the near future. But I played the video game, and then just immediately after that I was running around the house pretending I was Captain America. The shield, imaginary shield and everything. It was fantastic. I guess he's a pretty cool superhero to imagine being, because he's only like that one step above everyone else, so you can kind of picture an ideal world in which, I don't know, I'm getting too deep into the whole superhero fanfiction. No, I do not do superhero fanfiction. That was close, Freudian slip. Yeah, I've got to say that with this movie, instead of making the characters sympathetic, they were very likeable and they were very pleasant to watch, and it was the chemistry between. I mean, I still am not very keen on Black Widow. There's a lot of conversation and time spent with Captain America and Black Widow, and for the most part, yeah, it's good and it's entertaining. But I don't think I like Black Widow very much. Just find her a bit of a boring character. But Captain America is really entertaining, and well, basically overall, because I'm not going to go into any spoilers, and I don't really think that in terms of plot, there's not much that you can really say about this movie. I mean, it's an entertaining plot. It's engaging, but it's not. It doesn't feel like. It doesn't feel like it's riding on much, you know. I didn't feel that much attached to it, but that was because I wasn't so much attached to the character. Whereas I suppose it was because it wasn't as simple as in the Avengers. It was like, here we go, there's your bad guy, you had to defeat him, which I guess is kind of a fun plot to get into. But when it's a movie that's just about likable characters, not about sympathetic characters, it's kind of harder to get engaged in a plot that's as complicated as the one in this, even though it's not, if you think about it, that complicated. But basically, where I'm going with this is that what Marvel needs to be doing at the moment is they need to be making films not about sympathetic characters, maybe a little bit, but not for the most part. We want to see films about likeable, nice characters who seem three-dimensional, but we would not necessarily want to put ourselves in that we don't necessarily engage with on the extent where I feel what they're feeling all the way through the movie. I want to be able to look at these characters, watch them. Like to enjoy watching them. It needs to be colourful. The Avengers was a very colourful, very pleasant to look at movie. The first Captain America movie, here and there, there were lots of browns and dark greys, and that I've always found in period pieces like Captain America, the first Captain America movie, because it's set in 1943 or 4. It's very they use a lot of browns, but brown is a very familiar sort of. It reminds us of sepia tone, I suppose. So that's very important with period pieces. Basically, yeah, you need So to go back over, we need likable characters, a very pleasant to look at movie, and third of all, it needs to have fantastic action. The action in Captain America 2 is so cool, so nice. It's kind of hard to do. Captain America, I would like his shield and I want his powers. Not as much as I want Thor's hammer, and maybe kind of in a weird way want to be the Hulk, but yeah, Mjolnir is still cooler than Captain America's shield, even if the last movie wasn't so good. First Thor movie, pretty damn good. Second one, I wouldn't, you know, unless you're a big Loki fan, I wouldn't queue up for tickets. So yeah, unless you get a chance to watch it for free. But Captain America the Winter Soldier, I know that I'm late getting this review in because I should have done it ages ago when it actually came out in the cinema in England, but go see it. I really very strongly recommend it. Likeable characters, good action, very pleasant to look at. I'm Felix Jones, I'm out.